I'm here with Merle, Serena, Leah, and Mica, who have worked as a team to create an incredible project. But before we jump into that project, why don't you all tell me about yourselves?
Hi, my name is Serena, and we are a group of developers who met at the Grace Hopper program through Full Stack Academy. Prior to making this project, each of us had about 4 months of coding training and about 2 weeks to complete this project. All of us were paired together because of our artistic backgrounds and also our interest in AI and machine learning. Me especially, I came from a dance background and was dancing in immersive show, and I wanted to find technology that was able to integrate movement and be more interactive. Dance is also a way on social media through TikTok, Instagram, that people have choose to express, communicate, and connect and share.
I am so glad to have you all here today to talk about your project, Rotoflo, which I can't believe you put together in just 2 weeks. So tell me a bit about Rotoflo. What exactly is it?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm Merle Self, one of the developers of Rotoflo. Rotoflo is a motion interactive AR experience that generates kinetic full body filters. We leveraged TensorFlow and ReactWebcam. We wanted to make an app that allowed users to record, save, and share augmented video content. Serena previously had used TensorFlow in her hackathon project and inspired us to further explore other models. She had previously used the hand model. And we just wanted to see what else we could do with them. Mica, as well, had utilized HTML Canvas element in her hackathon project. And we just wanted to combine those two and that was the basis for Rotoflo. We were really inspired by rotoscoping, which is an animation technique, a fairly old one, of drawing over recorded video to create an animation. And we just really wanted to be able to use our artistic backgrounds to create content and participate in the prevalence of filters and more artistic art augmented expression of content online. We were heavily inspired by Masahiko Sato and Euphrates, which is they had created in 2011 a rotoscoped video that they did in post-production over a ballet performance. But we wanted to see if we could use TensorFlow to recreate that experience live and kind of make that a little bit more accessible to folks that are just using our app on the web. So,
Well, that sounds absolutely incredible. Do you have a demo that we could see?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Mica, one of the developers as well. As you can see in our application, a bulk of the functionality is happening within the webcam frame. So what that exists as in the code base is two components layered on top of each other. One is a ReactWebcam component, and directly on top of that is a canvas, an HTML canvas element. So the functionality that's happening is the webcam stream is being sent to the TensorFlow model, the Thunder model. And what we receive back is a data object of 17 points that indicate like the posture of the body that's within that frame. So then we sent that data object to a collection of drawing utilities that we coded. So you're able to toggle through different filters, and these functions basically take those data points, and on the canvas element, you have a context and a bunch of methods that are available on that context that are drawing methods. So we essentially give these points to the drawing methods, and they're able to kind of refresh as fast as your computer can process it and draw on top of that webcam frame that's being sent to the canvas element. So that's kind of how it functions on a technical level, but really what's happening is you're just seeing some cool full body filters on top of your live webcam feed.
Yeah, the result is absolutely beautiful to look at. I think it really just takes the dance component to the next level and adds another level of expression, which I absolutely love. Um, Now, we know that with every project, there are going to be some challenges. So tell me, what were your biggest challenges in making Rotoflow and how did you overcome them?
Hi, I am Leah, part of the Rotoflo team, and being very new to code and on a very tight deadline, really of a week and a half until our code freeze, we did face a lot of challenges in completing Rotoflow. Ultimately, we met as a team at the beginning and talked about what our dream for Rotoflo was, sort of our highest ambition for it. We then created our minimum viable product, and then were heavily urged by our mentors to create a couple safety net ideas in case it did prove to be too much. We had a really large tech stack for this project, and it was a lot of new technology for us and our instructors. So, with all those unknowns, we put our heads together, we identified sort of the main pain points of our project, and created little mini proof of concepts to code through those difficult pieces. And somehow we're able to complete those in the first couple days and move forward. And we were ultimately able to realize our most hopeful vision for Rotoflo, which was really exciting. To get more specific on the issues that mainly held us up, both of which actually involved frame rates. So initially, we were having a hard time getting Rotoflo to track our motion with such different machines. Each of our computers had a different processing rate. And so these different frame rates, it was, making everything really jerky. And we were trying to hard code it, which did not work at all. And so we came up with we figured out the request animation frame function in our code base that allowed everything to be more dynamic. And we ended up using the Thunder model instead of the Lightning model, because while it was meant to be a little slower but more accurate for our processing speeds, we couldn't see a difference in speed. So that worked out very well for us. And the other issue also involving frame rate was, even though we could record the videos, once we had these blobs, we didn't know how to save those to a database for the users to then be able to view later. And if you think of a video as a series of pictures, it's like a flip book. But since all of these pictures were taken at different frame rates on different machines and with different things running, we didn't know how to serve that back up from the database in a way that was going to make sense. And so then we used cloud storage from our front end. We just made a request, and that gave us back the URL that allowed us to save just one line to our database and present these videos in a viewable manner to our users. So those were the two main things we struggled with. But overall, if you love the team you're working with, it doesn't really matter what your deadline is. You'll enjoy working together and somehow pull it off. So we were lucky in that way.
Well, that's great. I really appreciate your insight on it, because folks who are new to TensorFlow JS and want to use video are probably going to come across some of the same questions. Now, people who want to find out more about Rotoflo, how can they find it or try it out?
Yeah, absolutely. So there will be a link to our application in the description below. You can also stay in touch with us via our Instagram, and please tag us in any videos you may create using Rotoflo. You can also contact us individually on LinkedIn, and please fork and clone our repo off of GitHub. We would love to see other filters you may create, and please make a pull request.
Perfect. So at this point, I have to ask, what are your plans for the future? Is there anything our wider community who are watching can potentially do to help?
Yeah, we would love to move our application to React Native and experiment with that development environment at some point. And we would also love to create more filter options for users, and ideally even experiment not just with like the static drawing utilities that we have, but with animated, more interactive drawings as well. We've also been excited for a while about the implications of using Rotoflo and TensorFlow to achieve large-scale interactive art installations. So that was another one of our main big inspirations that we wanted to see through. So that is ideally what we hope to, how we hope to scale and grow the project.
Awesome. Well, Mica, Leah, Serena, Merle, I'm so glad that you came on to talk to me about your project, and I can't wait to stay in touch and see what it is that y'all do next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much.